Warning, this show may contain some crude humor and mild swearing. Listener discretion is advised. The show was produced by Geek Happy Network, creators of the very best in audible oracle entertainment. In other words, podcasts. If you enjoy listening to Smörgåsbord, remember to subscribe to the show in Spotify or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts. This is Smörgåsbord!
Welcome to Smörgåsbord, a show where we explore the rituals, myths, and all things strange about the world of food. I'm Mik, and here is my co-host,
Angel.
And today we're talking about tea.
Tea?
Tea.
Tea time?
Tea time.
My favorite time.
Yeah, I guess we inspired by your high tea last episode.
Funny thing about high tea is there's more of everything else than tea.
Oh, that's disappointing.
There's a lot of... there's
Is
plenty of tea, but
right.
there's also like 18 million scones.
Yeah, so it's not like you show up to a barbecue and all of a sudden it's just fried chicken.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I guess I can do that.
I don't have any complaints
True.
if that happens.
But you also have that story about Chinese death tea that turned out not to be Chinese.
It's pretty metal.
What was it again?
Death tea. It is Chinese, I thought.
Oh. I don't know.
As you can see, we definitely researched.
Well, you were telling me you had a story about some friend of yours who talked about some death tea.
Right. She calls it death tea.
Right.
But because whenever she makes it, she feels like she's dying. So it's a tea, like when you're about to get sick.
Right.
You throw these ingredients together into boiling water. Okay. So if you're getting sick, and it is the season because it's getting colder.
Yeah.
So ginger, slice it up. Garlic, disgusting, but throw it in there.
Wow.
Lemons, chili peppers, and you can add a little bit of honey if you don't absolutely hate yourself.
So it's all the things that are said to cure things.
Yeah.
But you just
I don't
put
know
it
if they
into
actually
one.
cure things, but they're just naturally antibiotic.
Right.
So if you're getting like a scratchy throat or feeling a cough coming on, you drink that nasty ass tea.
Oh.
And like, I have made it before. It's not as gross as it sounds. I mean, you don't have to do the garlic. You can forego the garlic. I mean, that's the one that's yucky.
Yeah, fair enough. So it's death tea because you take it when you're dying.
Yeah.
It's not so you take it so you can die.
No.
Okay.
It has the opposite. Maybe she should call it a live tea.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, a few years ago, apparently in San Francisco, there was a lady who died from drinking tea.
Oh.
So that would be death tea, I guess.
Nice. I mean, not nice.
No.
The appropriate.
Yeah.
So
apparently she bought this tea that contained aconite, which is a deadly poison that you get from a plant. You probably know it more from a more familiar name called wolfsbane.
Oh, yes.
It's also called monk's hood, helmet flower, chuanwu, kawu, or fuzi. I'm guessing those are Chinese words.
I thought it's called arcanite? Aconite.
It's
Sounds
called
like a Pokemon. I think it is a Pokemon.
Aconite.
Aconite.
Aconite? Pronouncing words is not our strongest suit.
We're very sleepy people.
Yeah. Apparently it's usually used in Asia as a pain reliever, but if you don't process it properly, it can be poisonous. So usually raw aconite's pretty poisonous, but you could kind of, I guess, process the poison away.
Out of it? Okay.
Which is what a lot of political systems try to do as well. Symptoms can include numbness, weakness in limbs, paralysis, which really just sounds like every day when I wake up. So.
Yeah, same. Or when I try to go to sleep.
Yeah. It also causes low blood.
You're still awake.
Yeah. Like you're just paralyzed.
Yeah, my body gave up.
Yeah. It also causes low blood pressure, chest pains, and sudden death. And there's also no known antidote for this tea.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, there's really no antidote for sudden death. It's like, well, what do we do? Nothing. She dead.
But anyway, yeah, that apparently happened a few years ago. But today we're going to talk about something more than that. We're talking about teas in China, specifically about the mythology of Meng Po and her tea or soup of forgetfulness. But before we dive in a little bit into Meng Po, I think we should understand a little bit about what death is in China. Beginning with a Diyu? D-I-Y-U.
Diyu.
Diyu.
Diyu. This might be Canto, which I don't speak.
I don't speak neither. I know how to say 我.
我很爱吃饺子. That means I love to eat dumplings.
But I think I know how to say 我很高兴.
You're very happy?
Yeah! That's all I remember.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Diyu, which really in Chinese mythology essentially is the realm of the dead, or as we usually call it, hell. Diyu is just really the realm of the dead, or what we call hell. Unlike here in North America, where our dominant religion or mythology is pretty much just Christianity, in China the mythology there is usually a mixture of Taoism, Buddhism, Buddhism, and whatever other cultural legends in each region. So as big as China is, it's so regional in its varieties as well. So I guess like how Christians have different Christians.
Branches. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they fought each other for what they believed in. I don't know. So this means that the interpretation of the Diyu can have many regional variations. But the one thing that is common about how people see the Diyu is it's a maze of sorts where the dead go, souls go to suffer.
To suffer. That's everyday life.
Yeah. Imagine.
Why do you have to die to do that?
Yeah, well, apparently if you don't do well in real life, you just have to not do well in the afterlife.
Oh, okay.
This place...
that's pretty subjective. What do you mean not do well?
I don't know, man. I'm assuming the money has something to do with this and success or whatever else.
Well, you're kind of born into the class you are.
Yeah.
Vertical integration is very hard.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Imagine a place of different doors, routes, levels, and whatnot. That's kind of how the Diyu is.
Wait, can I see what do they have the Chinese character for the Diyu?
Sure.
Diyu. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm definitely not pronouncing this correct. How is it? Diyu.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but I know that I recognize the symbols.
So I'm just gonna call it Diyu and see where we go from there.
Cool.
So from now on, the Diyu is now the Diyu. Done.
I might be wrong, but I think that's how it's pronounced.
Phil, Nick, and any of our 3 listeners
who don't speak Mandarin.
Maybe you do. Who knows?
Maybe you do.
Maybe you do.
Maybe my mom will actually listen and she'll be like,
Yeah, this is the one thing she'll listen to. She'll be like, I'm disappointed. You can't even express your Chinese roots properly.
Nope, you little white devil. Learned English and forgot everything else. And then tried to learn Swedish. What is this?
So essentially that's the Diyu. It's believed that when you die, you are sent to Wang, who's the king of hell. And here you're sent to a thing called the Mirror of Retribution, which will judge you.
Huh. That sounds like a paladin in WoW.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Which I quit.
But
anyway.
So this Mirror of Retribution will just judge you harshly, give you some side-eye, and tell you whether you go to hell or paradise.
Well, sounds like Asian parents.
Before you reincarnate again.
Cool.
Sadly, for the most part, yeah. Just like your parents, you all just end up you mostly just end up
forever.
in hell. Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to variations, I think there are some variations in this story as well. Another place there are variations are the number of levels or courts of hell you go through. So when you actually enter hell, you're subjected to a number of different various levels of hell. It ranges from anywhere between 3 and 18. Each with a different kind of judge or king who rules that level. Usually each court will have a different punishment for you, and you need to go through it to atone for your sins. I'm not going to go too deeply in this because we're going to take 2 hours to talk about all of that.
There's many levels.
Yeah.
Are there any highlights?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go through the 10 levels of hell and just the names and the rulers of it. And maybe we could guess what they do.
Okay.
Court,
this is fun.
Yeah, court number 1, as we talked about, is the Mirror of Retribution, which is run by Wang Wang, or whatever. Oh, Wang. Sorry. And that's where you're judged to see whether you're going to go to heaven or hell.
Right.
Or paradise or hell, I guess. Or the Diyu. The second court is called the Pool of Filth and Hell of Ice, ruled by Wang.
Wait.
Ew.
If it's a pool, how is it? Is it just ice? Is it frozen? Is the whole thing frozen? Then it can't be like a pool of nasty, sludgy water, which was what I initially thought it was.
Maybe it's a drink. It's a pool of filth with a hell lot of ice in it.
Oh, you.
Yeah,
cold sludge.
Yeah, so maybe
ice cold sludge.
Yeah.
Sewage.
So you enter this court as a bartender. They only have one drink. It's called
sludge.
Filthy ice. You gotta drink it.
Yum. Salmonella.
Yeah. So when you're done drinking the salmonella ice, you go to court number 3, which is Black Rope Hell and Upside Down Prison, ruled by Songji Wang.
Okay, so you're just strung up like bacon.
I guess so.
And you just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Songji comes in and tickles you for eternity.
Okay, that's bad. Oh, I wonder if they get those demons from TaskRabbit. Looking for ticklers. Must be able to tickle for 12 hours.
$18 an hour. Must be eligible to enter hell.
Bring your own feather duster.
Yeah. And keep gear or whatever.
I take that task.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So after the upside down prison, you end up to court number 4, which is a lake of blood and terrible bee torture, ruled by Wu Guan.
Bee torture. Like buzz, buzz, buzz.
I guess so.
I like pollen bees.
Yeah. But what is a lake of blood? What would that have to do with terrible bee torture?
I don't know. They don't really go together. I feel like they're just like, what are 2 bad things? And then they put it together.
Yeah. Come on, Wu Guan. Not that imaginative.
Right.
You gotta tie these things together.
Yeah. Unless you're bleeding profusely from a bee sting, which I don't think you do.
Yeah. No, I don't think you do. Maybe court number 4 is just a court of disappointment. So you go in and you're like, oh, that's it?
Blood and bees.
So that the torture is you're just unhappy and disappointed about.
Oh, it's like, this is not sanitary.
You get to act like your parents.
We have a lot of parental issues, apparently. It's all coming out in this episode.
Apparently, which I really don't.
I guess I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, next.
Anyway, court number 5 is the 16 departments of heart gouging.
16?
Yeah, departments.
Departments.
Which is, ruled by Wang again, I guess.
Does it mean, like, having your heart torn out 16 different times?
Yeah, you know how, like, in some places there are the 16 candles where it's, like, supposed to be a dance with 16 dudes or something? So maybe this is, like, 16 people who break up.
Ow. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that would be sad.
I was thinking more, like, literal. Like, how many ways can they rip out somebody's heart? Like, 1. You break your ribs, and then you just take that sucker out.
Yeah, I feel like this guy's gonna go through it. He's like, alright, you got 16 heart gouges.
How are you gonna do this? I don't know. It's always in the same spot.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And then he does it, and he takes one out, and he's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And he tries it again. Maybe his dream is one day to have
16 ways.
Yeah. Maybe some animals have 16 hearts, and that's why he does this. Because I don't think it's only for humans.
Oh,
Maybe.
They torture animals too?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, now I'm livid. Because I thought it was just human torture. I'm like, this is fine.
I think they believe that everybody's entitled to reincarnation, right?
Right. Next time I want to be reincarnated as a house cat.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Feed me. Yeah. Pet me. You pet me too much!
Oh, and then after that we go to screaming torture and administrative errors.
Is this an episode of The Office?
Is this even real? Maybe I should have checked how real these quotes are. I don't read Chinese, so I can't really check these.
Oh, yeah. That just sounds like you're stuck in the office forever.
Yeah.
Doing paperwork.
Yeah.
Administrative torture.
You're eternally inviting the wrong people to meetings.
And you're a receptionist.
Yeah.
Just failing.
Yeah, and you have your boss screaming at you, and you just, oh no, I said blue pen, but we only have black pens.
Where are those TPS reports?
We're gonna pursue. We're gonna run into negative this quarter. Quarter. Something about quarters.
The printer's not working again.
Yeah, we need more paper.
Toner. Paper jam.
Donut.
Yeah, I think this one's by far the worst one.
Yeah, this sounds terrible.
Oh.
This sounds like my job 2 years ago. Ooh, how about this one? Court number 7. I'm pretty sure this is not real. I feel like I was being trolled by this. I just found it somewhere. Anyway.
We're just gonna go with it.
Get this. Court number 7 is torture by... Oh, I thought it said torture by mimicking machine, but it actually says torture by mincing machine. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
I thought, yeah, because mimicking machine would be like a 5-year-old just copying everything he's saying. That would be absolute torture. Yeah, that would be terrible.
It would be like bad to hit a kid, but I want to hit a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it might be not good to hit a kid, but what about shoving them down the stairs?
Yeah.
That's fine, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so it is torture by...
But it's mincing.
Mincing, yeah. So I guess you get chopped up and put together over and over again.
You will be meatloaf.
Yeah.
But like, you know, a sentient meatloaf.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah. I like the mimicking one more.
Yeah, no.
Who's this? Taishan Wang. Can I submit
part of your world?
Can I submit a request for change? Maybe we'll go through the last court and make one of your admin people do it. And they typo
You
it.
would think that the admin people would be level 1.
Yeah.
Because they have to admit everybody in.
True.
It's like, what's the point of doing paperwork when you're already 6 levels of torture deep?
There's also when you know that definitely a human wrote this.
Yeah.
Not from like a long time ago, but a modern human.
Sitting at their desk, I hate my job.
Yeah, imagine a caveman trying to write this as administrative errors.
My tie doesn't match my socks.
No. Fire. Fire, not right. Need more fire. Get the wheel.
Like Batman.
Yeah, what? No,
You sound like Batman.
That they'd be deep voiced people. So court number 8 then is hot suffocation hell.
Hot suffocation hell.
That seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's like hot.
This sucks. No air and it's hot.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It feels like Arizona.
Okay, so court number 9 is even worse than the administrative error court, which is court number 6. It's Iron Web, Office of Fair Trading and Better Business Bureau. Yeah, I'm being trolled by this thing. There's no way that's
a thing.
Who the hell? What?
There's a lot of office theme things.
It's pretty terrible, but what?
Oh, we're good at fact checking,
apparently. Before we invented the office life, or maybe office life has just been part of humanity.
It has. You never know.
Yeah, they definitely.
Made this shit up.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe it's real.
It's not on Wikipedia.
If any one of our 3 listeners wants to check on this for us.
Yeah, we're very tired humans.
Yeah, we're not going to fact check this. This is just...
We exist.
No one said we're an educational podcast.
No, we just talk about shit that
we're like the early stages of Wikipedia where you could just say what you want and assume it's true.
Yeah, and no one's going to edit.
Yeah.
So there.
And finally, we reach court number 10, the Wheel of Rebirth. So I guess this is where you reincarnate yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that sucks because you're gonna have to come back
Do it
through
again.
administrative help in the
Yeah.
Better Business Bureau.
But see, that's where Meng Po comes into play.
Ah,
Yeah.
she's like the end boss.
Yeah, she is the end boss. But if you ever want to actually go through all of this, apparently you could enter the Diyu through the town of Fengdu, which is an ancient city in Chongqing, China. It's about 1,000-year-old place. It's just a bunch of different temples and all that, which is apparently supposed to be the entrance to hell.
Nice. Very convenient.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go check it out.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. There's a bunch of statues and whatnot. There's a bridge there apparently where you could see if you're going to hell or not. If you cross the bridge and
not die,
you get pushed off the bridge, you're going to hell. If not, then
get pushed off
you're
by
fine.
whom?
I don't know, a demon. There's also a couple other bridges by that bridge that are like the bridge of...
There's more taskers just standing there. They're like, pick like 50% of people and push them off.
Yeah. There's also like the health bridge and the wealth bridge that you could cross for health and wealth.
Health and wealth?
Does
it have to be one or the other? Can you have both?
Maybe. I don't know. Some people do, so I guess.
Cool.
So the reason why all of this happens, as we mentioned, is there's the last court, which is a wheel of rebirth, and this is where Meng Po comes into place and gets you ready for reincarnation.
My homie.
Yeah.
Oh.
For all those who don't know what reincarnation is, it's essentially just the belief that your soul or mind, or there's something that
Your
continues
essence.
to live after you physically die, and then that thing comes back again to
in a different body.
physical thing, and you restart your life. It depends on how you believe in it. I think some believe in reincarnation as you are a soul or a mind, an individual soul or mind that just floats and comes back to a different one. I think in some other places, which I think is what Buddhism believes as well, instead of it being an individual soul, you enter one stream of consciousness again, and from there you're pulled out. For anyone who plays Final Fantasy, I guess it will be like the life stream in Final Fantasy VII, where everyone dies and all enters that stream again, and then from there life gets
So does that mean your individuality
disappears? Yeah.
dissipates?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be the difference of the Buddhism belief from the other probably ones.
Now every emo kid has watched Evangelion, the anime.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
I never actually finished that.
Yeah, at the end, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Everybody on Earth except for emo child Shinji
Right.
gets like liquefied and turns into like one soup.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go watch it.
It got very abstract. Like
Yeah.
when I watched it, I was like, yeah, I'm so edgy. And then I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I just watch weird food anime. We should do an episode about food anime, dude.
Yes, anything Miyazaki.
Yeah,
Delicious.
true.
Anyway.
So the word reincarnation derives from Latin, meaning entering the flesh again. And I found out in Greek it means, in Greek it's metapsychosis, which translated as, it's another trans word, migration of the soul instead of trans.
Substantiation.
Yes, that's the one. We gotta stop bringing that up because we
just can't do it.
That's just a running joke now, I guess. Transam. So now this is all how the whole hell and Diyu works in China, and as we mentioned, the last court has this lady called Meng Po, and Meng Po it's her job to make sure that you're ready for reincarnation, and to do that she has to make sure that you don't remember any part of your past lives. So for her to do that, she doesn't bonk you in the head or press a reset button. She offers you tea.
What if you're like, yo, I hate tea, bitch?
Yeah, well,
give me coffee.
I'm assuming she'll turn into some terrifying monster.
Just jam it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she'd be like, drink it or I'll drink it for you. Oh no, wait. That's not-
Drink it or I'll make you drink it.
Yeah, that's the one. I'll drink it for you.
She doesn't remember why she's there.
Yeah, what happens? What happens if Meng Po drinks her own drink? Who's gonna?
Yeah, you think she ever stood there waiting for people to reincarnate and
Yeah.
no one's coming? She's like, I'm bored and thirsty.
Yeah. Like any good chef, you have to taste your product. So
I don't think it matters because it tastes so. Even if it tastes super bad, they're not gonna remember as soon as they drink it.
yeah, fair enough. So I guess she's not really like a chef. She's just a
Nurse.
a scientist or whatever. So yeah, she offers you this tea or soup called the 5-flavored Tea of Forgetfulness or whatnot, which is a mixture of just different herbs. I couldn't find exactly.
I was gonna say it's gin, tequila, vodka, rum, and whiskey.
Put some Tabasco on it.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the ingredients are barley,
Rye, potatoes, agave, and what's Bailey's made of? I'm just looking at your alcohol shelf. I'm like, what else is alcoholic?
oh, sugar because of rum,
Sugar.
right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yep, there you go. I've spent all week trying to find the recipe, but I think we just found it.
We just did it. Woo woo.
All right, so we're gonna make this one day, and well, shit.
Okay, isn't that
Maybe
drink
that's why
also
when you
called
make-
an adios motherfucker?
Yeah. Well, in the Philippines, there's a drink called the Wang Wang, which is just a mixture of so many different things, and they call it the Wang Wang because when you drink it, that's how you feel.
Weng Weng. Hey, that sounds good. I'm down to try it.
Maybe that's why when you're born to a new life, you don't really function properly. It's not because you're a baby; it's because you're
Drunk as
hungover.
For many years.
Yeah, you're just
So
super hungover. Because
Damn it, Meng Po, you party too hard.
it's like, yeah, damn me. Well, anyway, so yeah, every soul has to drink this before they leave hell and enter a new life. Forgetting your past not only prepares you for your past life, but I guess it's also some sort of a symbol that you're cleansed of your past wrongdoings as well. You don't want to go through all of that hell just to know that you still are a fuck up. Maybe you do, I don't know. So there's no better way of cleaning your wrongdoing than just forgetting about it.
So you can do it all over again because you
Yeah.
remember that you already did it.
Yeah, which seems like every politician ever anyway. We're just being political a little bit because the Canadian elections just happened and apparently somebody won or something. I don't know.
Something happened.
Yeah.
I voted, but
I did too.
nice.
Just-
One regrets, they don't have any I voted stickers.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too.
Hello.
Like,
What do you think I'm doing this for?
Yeah.
To vote?
There was
No.
one, I remember when was that? I think it was 8 years ago. They also gave lollipops.
What? I didn't get a single lollipop.
Bet you some parent just
I
complained.
had to drive very far to go
Be
to
like,
my polling place.
I'm diabetic, so why can't I get it done? I don't know.
Here's your gluten-free cookie.
Yeah.
For having voted.
So whoever complained about those lollipops, you deserve a special place.
You
in
can
the
just
Diyu.
not take it.
Yeah.
You can say sorry,
Yeah.
or you don't even have to apologize. You can just say,
Yeah.
but
You
you know,
know,
being Canadian,
What's his
apologize for
name?
everything.
Yeah. Bian Cheng from the Court of Screaming Torture and Administrative Errors is going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Whoever complained about the
Lollipops are not errors.
Bet you it's a Karen. Karen, you deserve a special place in administrative hell.
Got a paper push for eternity.
Yeah. Anyway, back to China. Yes, I would assume that all of this is just part of the mythology. There is some belief that some people have escaped drinking the tea. So I guess experiences similar to like deja vu or feeling like you're living in a different body. The way they explain it is that you maybe not got drunk enough with Meng Po. It's also believed that Buddha himself escaped drinking the drink, which is why he remembers his past lives. Yeah, so that's pretty much it about Meng Po. But as a whole, there really is a big significance about tea in China. It's a pretty big deal for them. I saw this thing about a Chinese saying that goes, firewood, rice, oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and tea are the 7 necessities to begin a day.
Tea. No, you think it's because It was accessible caffeine, source of caffeine.
Maybe. It began as a medicinal thing. You could see in a lot of parts of China that really there's so much tea. I mean, you go to a Chinese restaurant, they offer you tea.
Yeah. I would rather have water.
Yeah. And for them, it's similar to wine, I guess, for us here, where there's like rituals and different things about you could drink tea, you could taste tea. It's different. Like wine, you could taste wine or drink wine as well. You could enjoy the flavor, or you could just get drunk or get energy or heal from it. In fact, there's a whole art form of tea called the Gongfu Cha, which is, I guess, the Kung Fu of tea.
Yeah.
Because Kung Fu just means like lots of training to mastering a skill, and I guess Gongfu Cha. Oh, is that why Gongcha is called Gongcha?
I don't know.
They think they're the masters of bubble tea?
I think it's a different Gong.
No.
It's a different character.
Done.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's such a... In fact, tea is such a big deal in China that in 2002, someone actually paid somewhere between $28,000 to drink 1 cup of tea.
What?
Yeah.
What's in this tea?
It's like I can't remember what it was called, but in the Wuyishan Province, there was this special tree that only had specific number of lives left. Like there's not a lot of the the original tree of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super expensive to just drink it. So someone just paid that much money just to drink that. But apparently there's a lot of non-mother trees. And they are pretty much the same. Similar, I guess, not exactly the same. Anyway. That's just crazy, man. I could think of many other things you could do with $28,000.
Yeah.
That's 2,800 bottles of scotch.
Yeah.
Huh.
And you don't get drunk. It's just leaf water, dude.
Yeah.
It's leaf water.
Yeah. So it's actually such a big thing in China. It became a major export of China to Britain back in the day. The English eventually bought so much tea from China that they were actually losing out on the trade because they were getting a trade deficit, which eventually led to Britain trading opium to China, which started the Opium War, which Britain won and caused Britain to eventually take hold of a certain place that's causing a lot of news right now. Hong Kong. Hong Kong was ruled by Britain because of tea.
Dangerous substance.
Yeah. Tea is such a big deal in China. The earliest recorded writing and mentions of tea came from China. It's believed that the second emperor of China, Shan Nong,
Just make all the
sounds. All the inflections. See
one of them will be right.
He apparently discovered tea by accident. That a tea leaf one day fell on his pot of boiling water. And when he drank it, he surprisingly enjoyed it.
Just from one? From one leaf?
Yeah. One leaf. Maybe it was a bushel of leaves. I don't know.
It must be very powerful. Or his
Yeah.
boil of potting water
Yeah.
must be a very tiny one.
It's a pretty small boiling pot.
Boiling pot.
But the person who did make tea famous in China isn't him, but Lu Yu, who's also known as the Sage of Tea. He's known as one of the first to write about the cultivation and creation of tea, and the book is called The Classic of Tea. It used to be a 3-volume thing that they combined into one book now, I believe. This guy was so intense about tea that he has the ability to tell the difference of the water used for tea.
This one is from the ice sludge water bar.
And this one's from the lake of blood.
This one is just from your toilet.
Yeah. So there's this story about him finding this river with like super pure water that was perfect for the tea. But he said that since it's river water, there's specific places in the river you should collect it from. And someone once returned water to him and he said that it wasn't from that spot. And then he took some water out. Anyway, it was weird, but he apparently can tell the difference of water.
Sounds like a wine snob.
Yeah, it's a wine snob with water.
Yeah,
it's like, dude,
water
come
snob.
on, man. It's just water. But I mean, people talk about like. Actually, we say that all the time when we went to Europe. Oh, I miss Vancouver water.
Vancouver water is very good.
Yeah.
So every other tap water I've ever had tasted bad.
Yeah.
And wrong.
So yeah, if you really, maybe he is right, because if you travel around the world enough, Like every country I go to, water tastes kind of different.
It does.
So maybe he's on.
He does have something there, but they also didn't have, piping into cities and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, and he's talking about like different areas of one river instead of countries.
Yeah, that's subtle.
He's
real
intense.
subtle.
Yeah.
He is this wine snob. Back to talking about snobs.
Yeah.
This guy, I bet he's the type of person that'll take a sip of wine and be like, "This is very fruit forward."
There's just not enough tannins. Oh, could you taste that taste of oak? It's a fucking $8 bottle of wine, man. Just relax.
Just relax.
Want to get wine drunk?
It's like, this is just Dasani, okay?
Yeah. It's Thursday and I want to get wine drunk. Liu, come on, man. Just give me that bottle back. Liu, no, don't spit. Just spit. Oh. In China, the most popular place for tea is from the Wuyi mountain range, or the Wuyishan Province. It's also known as the Tea City. It's where black tea was invented as we know it today. It's also where Dohong Pao is located. So Dohong Pao is the tea I was talking about that someone paid 28 grand for.
Yikes.
Yeah, so there's only a specific number of Dohong Pao mother trees left, and you can't actually extract from it anymore because they're not producing as much tea leaves as before. But there are a number of different Dohong Pao plants out there. Just the OG ones are limited now. So you could buy just more newer Dohong Pao leaves and they're cheaper, but I'm assuming there's some like scam thing with people there nowadays. As all things are. Yeah. Just like the civet coffee episode where the people just scam people for fake civet.
Oh yeah.
Today it's also known most for its oolong tea. As teas in this region are said to have complex flavors due to trees growing in rocks, adding a mineral-like flavor to the teas. As we're a food-based show, though, I found that they had this really cool thing in the province called tea eggs.
Oh, I love tea eggs.
Yeah, so they're like these marbled eggs. It looks so cool. And I guess what happens is it absorbs the tea. The egg absorbs the tea. I was looking up how to cook it. So apparently you
just slow cook it.
You cook the egg first as a hard-boiled egg. Then you crack the eggshell, but you don't break the egg open. You keep the shell in, and then you pour it into your tea mixture. Then the egg still absorbs all of that after.
You get like a spider web effect when you actually peel the shell off.
Yeah, and you add things like anise, cinnamon, and tangerine zest to it as well.
So good.
Oh, it sounds so good.
You know, they used to sell these at 7-Elevens in Taiwan.
Really?
Yeah. They just have a pot right next to the cash register, like a crock pot.
Really?
And then it's just filled with tea eggs, and then you...
We should try to make this.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. So Dohong Pao, apparently the name Dohong Pao comes from, its translation is Big Red Robe. And the mythology behind it was this guy who was going for like an imperial exam, and on his way to the exam he got sick, and this guy gave him this tea that came from the Dohong tree, and he got cured. He got to the imperial exam. He passed. Became an imperial officer. So once he got to become an officer, he came back to the province. And from there, the guy gave him some leaves, and he's like, "Well, shit, I don't know how to bring this back to the place, to the palace." So he used his robe that he got from the imperial officer robe to wrap all the leaves around, and the robe's a big red robe. That was the story.
It's a very literal story.
Yeah, they used the leaves eventually to cure one of the emperor's daughters or something, so that's why it became popular or whatnot.
This reminds me of the time I got into a car accident right before a final, but I didn't have any magical tea.
Oh.
I had some painkillers.
Did you pass the final?
I got an A.
Oh, heck yeah.
I had Ativan, which is like an anti-anxiety.
Right.
So I was having panic attacks.
Uh-huh.
And then I had a bunch of painkillers. And then I was like getting too sleepy. So I'm like, I'm going to chug a Red Bull. So I did all of that in Red Bull. And I wandered into that exam. And it's in one of those rooms where it's like there's steps down.
Right.
It's like a lecture hall. I walked in and I'm like, I can't do those stairs. So I told like, teacher, can you pass me a test because I can't go down those stairs?
I just got into an accident.
I'm just going to sit in the back here. Yeah, and then I aced it. It was pretty cool.
That was pretty badass.
So Asian. It's like, yeah, my shit's broken, but I need to go take my final.
You probably came back with your report card or whatever. Like, hey, I aced the car. Or I aced the test. And your mom was probably like, but you broke the car. D- in life.
Disappointment. It's like, yeah, but you went to film school.
That should have been an A++.
It's like, Mama, they don't do pluses. I don't care.
So yeah, when it comes to tea, it's similar to, I guess, coffee, where it really just comes from one plant, the Camellia sinensis. The Camellia sinensis does have a couple varieties in it, which is the sinensis variety and the Assamica variety. The difference being that the sinensis has smaller leaves and are more capable to grow in lower temperatures, while the Assamica have bigger leaves and can really only grow in warm temperatures. It's also known that the sinensis grows mostly in China, while the Assamica grows in India. There's not really one that's better or not, but I guess our Chinese overlords will say that theirs is better.
Ah, yes, China forever.
Yeah. As we know, there are many different kinds of teas, one of which the varieties are really just kind of based on the way you prepare, oxidize, and process the teas. You could actually roast, steam, or pan fry leaves before you. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So yeah, it's just based on those different ways. So white tea is just subtle in flavor and delicate kind of tea. They undergo the least amount of processing. They're just kind of picked, withered, and then just dried. The next level from there is green tea, which is very popular. I think it's my favorite kind of tea, is green tea. This type is one that most commonly is known to be the healthiest of all of them. And in fact, it could help reduce your risk of cancer, apparently. Allegedly. There are two main methods you could do to get green tea. You could either steam or pan fry it. Japanese green teas tend to be steamed, and they're more bright and vibrant in color, while in China they tend to pan fry it, which leads to a more pale or darker green color.
I love pan-fried things.
Yeah.
But I didn't know people pan-fried tea.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? So they dry it out and then they pan-fry it.
Nice.
Next one is black tea, which in Asia is known more as red tea. Red being because it's the color of the tea. While black meaning because the leaves itself are black.
Okay.
This tea is most popular more in Europe and South Asia. They're perhaps the most common, and they're actually the most popular tea out there.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. The processed teas here come into a different grading. There's a grading system when you process black tea as well. There's the full leaf teas and the broken leaf teas. This is just how you crush or broke your tea. Obviously, full leaf is you have the full leaves still intact, while broken leaf is they're broken.
Leaf shards.
Yeah. The next one is oolong tea, which is the tea that has similar characteristics to green and black tea. This one is probably the most complex tea to produce and create. The best ones are known to be coming from Taiwan or China. They require a lot of steps to kind of create. They could be lightly oxidized like green teas or highly oxidized like black teas. And the leaves are usually rolled up and balled up. Oolong tea compared to other teas are really designed to be steeped multiple times, allowing you to release a different flavor for each steep you do. So it's the kind of tea you put in your glass and take off after a few seconds instead of keeping it there the whole time. This tea is probably what's used most in the Gong Fu Cha ceremonies to be able to enjoy the tea the most. And lastly, there's the pure tea or post-fermented tea.
Oh, I like these.
Yeah, I've never actually tried these ones.
It's subtle.
Right. Yeah, so they're aged to improve the flavor. It's often really good for your body as well, like all teas tend to be. It's, I guess, common in China as well, right? And divided into two different styles. You could do it raw or cooked. Sheng or shu.
Sheng
Sheng
is
shu.
raw.
Okay.
Shou is cooked.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So with this one, when the leaves are oxidized, there's still a moisture left in it, so you could kind of age it for months or years. And most of these teas are, they're sold in like a pressed kind of. So most of these pure teas are pressed in a cake-like shape.
Cake.
Yeah. With a tea, the year of the tea stamped. So like wine has a vintage. I guess this one has a similar one. You could actually, some really older and well-aged tea cakes can go for thousands out in auctions or whatever.
Ooh, would you still drink it though?
I saw this place as perfect for pairing with a good cigar. Maybe some wine and a stick.
Smoke it?
Yeah. Smoke a tea.
Steep your cigar and smoke your tea.
Ooh. Yeah.
Full flavored. Weird.
That'll be one thing to try someday.
Yeah, you can just dunk your whole cigar into hot water and just kind of stir it.
Yeah. Now there's also a different form of tea which are called herbal teas, which don't use the Camellia sinensis plants, which technically aren't teas by definition, but they're also called as teas because they use different. It's just essentially just using a different herb for the tea. And there's also scented teas where you use the Camellia sinensis plant and mix it with other things as well.
I'm not a fan of herbal teas.
Yeah. Apparently some of them are really good for you, but yeah.
Yeah. No, they don't have the same warmth.
Yeah. In China, like every other country has their ways of drinking tea. The English do it with milk, Japanese drink it without adding anything. I think China's similar, we don't really add anything either. Like we mentioned, there's different cultural variations. The Gong Fu Cha ceremony is one that I think is pretty constant, though. It's pretty straightforward to learn, but I was reading up on the steps to do this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of steps to learn it, but they're pretty straightforward. It's just little things like how to angle your tea, how long you're going to do it for. So it doesn't require a lot of skill, it requires a lot of memorization, which feels like school.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Someone else do that and then give it to me.
Yeah, right. Apparently there's this thing about lightly tapping your finger on a teacup as a way of saying like thank you. Yeah. Or like you hold it or something. Yeah, something like that. So apparently that's a way to say thank you to whoever's serving tea to you. Apparently the history of that comes from the Qing dynasty, where the emperor traveled in disguise throughout the empire, and he was eventually serving tea to one of his soldiers or whatever, and the soldier wanted to thank him because he was it's such a big deal to be served by the emperor. He couldn't figure out how to do it, so he just tapped his fingers.
Seems rude.
Yeah, but the emperor took it as a sign of thanks.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'd be like, off with his fingers.
Yeah. As we mentioned, there's a lot of health benefits for tea. I'm not even going to go through this because there's just so many. And
you should just Google it, guys.
Yeah, just Google it. I'm sure everyone knows. The one thing I found really interesting about this is that no study has ever said there's a causational relation with his health benefits and tea. So there's some correlational evidence to suggest that tea can improve your health, but no one's actually directly said that tea directly can cure cancer or tea can produce blah, blah, blah. So some say that the reason why tea could be good for you is, generally speaking, most tea drinkers are just healthier people, live healthier lives, so make healthier decisions in general than people who don't drink tea. Which I think in my mind, maybe because you drink tea because you want to be healthy, so then you make other decisions aside from just drinking tea.
Right.
That do that for you. And the crow seems to agree. Yeah. Thank you, crow. He agrees.
Drink some tea, bird.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, which I think kind of makes sense. Like, I don't think teas are really the end-all, be-all medicine that can cure everything, right? But
no, because we have other things now.
Yeah. People tend to decide to drink teas because they want to be healthier, so makes sense.
Leaf water instead of bean water.
Yeah. Now...
Or cocaine.
Yeah. Well, we apologize for the bird in the truck. They're trying to fight for space in the background.
It's garbage day.
Yeah. Well, that's why
It's
they're all
garbage day outside. Yeah.
like, Mom, get more food. But there is one kind of tea that is definitely not the healthiest for you. Bubble tea.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, so bubble tea is very,
pure
very
sugar.
different from all these teas.
Sometimes I wonder if bubble tea actually has any tea content.
Yeah, there was this one, we were looking like the brown sugar milk tea or whatever.
Yeah.
And we asked them, hey, what was on it? They're like, oh, it's milk.
And sugar.
And sugar. Like, wait,
but where's the tea?
Oh,
There
they
is no
called it
tea.
a tea latte. I was so confused because I'm like, so does it have coffee or tea? And he's like, no, it's just brown sugar and milk.
Milk.
Wait, yeah, we're paying $7 for brown sugar and milk?
Oh, yeah. And bubbles.
I could just do that at home.
If you want to make your own bubbles.
We could.
I usually order mine without.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of the balls.
Neither am I. I feel so sluggish after.
Oh, I just don't eat it, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's like last night when I went to High Five and got 3 pieces of chicken, and I thought that would be good for dinner. It was way too much. I felt so gross all night.
That's me every time there's crafty, which means every day.
So just to wrap everything up, we always ask the question of, is it good? Well, the forgetfulness tea, if the recipe is accurate to what Angel said it was, it probably tastes like shit.
Oh yeah, but you'll feel great.
Yeah.
For a short while.
Tea. But you won't remember it anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Tea in general, it depends how you like your tea. I like green tea. I'm not a big fan of white tea. There was this one white tea I had, it was called Buddha's Blend, but it was a blended tea because it had like peaches and stuff. It was really good. I do like my black tea too.
Black tea's great. Tea. I like Lady Grey.
I do want to try that Pura tea. It sounds cool.
Pura?
Yeah, Pura. Pootie.
Pootie.
Poutine though.
Poutine.
Is so good too. And I do like my bubble tea too. What's your bubble tea order preference?
Every time is different.
Yeah, me too.
Because I like to try, and there's usually like 100 things on a menu.
Yeah.
That bubble tea, you can never try them all, so you might as well try them all.
Yeah, and they had that thing about like, which bubble tea are you? And they judge you for which bubble tea order. I'm like,
it's different every time.
Yeah, it's different every time.
I do like. I think I used to only order one thing, and it's the pudding, which literally has no tea in it. It's just flan that's blended into liquid.
It sounds so
You're
good
drinking
and so gross at the same time.
And the fun thing is you can add pudding to your pudding tea, so you have
the
liquefied. So you have liquefied pudding, but then you also have chunks of pudding on top.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was my favorite.
Yes, I guess that would count as herbal tea.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What are you eating today? What's in your palate?
I don't have anything planned today because I'm not working today. Therefore, I just probably won't be eating.
No crafty.
Honestly. Yeah.
What's the best thing you got in crafty during your show?
The last one I was on?
Yeah.
Okay, there was this weird cream cheese and corn dip that they made. It was so good. They put some spices in it. Can't really tell you what's in it, but it was great. I just ate it by the cup. Like you're supposed to. They put breadsticks next to it, so you're supposed to dip breadsticks into it. Right. But no, I just ate that by the spoon.
That's awesome.
It was good.
Well, like I said, I had fried chicken.
3 of them.
Yeah, I could still feel it in my man boobs.
They went straight into the boobs.
Yep. And anyway, so that's our episode about tea and Meng Po.
Meng Po's pretty chill. Your voice just got real spoopy.
We're inspired by death. It's Halloween. I mean, these episodes aren't coming out on Halloween, but we could always celebrate Halloween for longer.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
It's better than Christmas. Ooh, controversial statement.
Yeah.
This is Smörgåsbord! Have a food-related ritual, myth, or something strange you want us to explore? Send us a message through Facebook at Geek Happy Network. We'd love to hear from our fellow foodie listeners. And while you're there, remember to subscribe or follow us too. This show was created by Angel and Mik Narciso, hosted by Angel and Mik Narciso, editing by Mik, and logo by Angel. Come give us a listen at geekhappynetwork.com or look for us on your favorite podcast app. Oh, and be sure to follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Geek Happy Network.